Welcome to the Clean Pro Podcast, where we help commercial cleaning business owners like you become the most recognized, respected, and requested name in your market. I'm your host, Adon Rigg, and if you're tired of chasing leads, competing on price, or waiting for referrals to trickle in, this episode is for you.
Hey, Aiden here, and today I want to talk to you about the 3 secrets. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about the first secret of getting the walkthrough. Now, I have over 30 years experience in the cleaning industry and have done hundreds of quotes, walkthroughs with building service contractors, with end users, and I have found one common thing, and that thing is differentiation. What I mean by that is so many commercial cleaning contractors really believe it's on price and that the walkthrough is one on price. Now, I understand why they think that way, because the customer makes it that way. And most of the cleaning contractors are technicians, meaning they know how to clean, they have experience in the cleaning, they do it well, and they get into business for themselves. And that's kind of the mindset that they're in. The shift comes when you start recognizing that you win the contract during the walkthrough. You don't win the contract on the proposal. And so let's dive in a little bit today about what that looks like and what are some of the steps in secret number 1 to getting that walkthrough. So where do we begin? Well, we're going to begin with the 3 secrets. So there's 3 secrets to winning without being the lowest price. Today, we're going to talk about the first of those secrets. Now, what does that look like? Well, we know that the cleaning market, the industry, is extremely competitive. We know that there are over 1 million commercial cleaning companies in the United States alone. And that is registered companies or companies that can be found and accounted for. We know there are a lot of companies that are independent mom and pops, what have you. They do cleaning on the side, they do cleaning under the table, what have you. And we know that that is a real impact on the industry. In fact, it drives down margins, it drives down prices. And the dirty little secret is a lot of those people or companies are being taken advantage of because they are, in many cases, illegal immigrants, newer people to the country, and they are trying to survive. And so they're taking a shift and they're being paid lower prices. So pricing is a factor, but it's not the only factor. It's not the determining factor. Now, you just need to put yourself into the shoes of when you are buying. If you go and meet with someone and there's no trust, and maybe they're selling you, whatever it could be. It could be a cup. It could be something on Craigslist, something on Facebook. It could be a PlayStation 2. It could be a PlayStation, whatever. It could be anything you're going to go buy. If when you meet them, you don't trust them, you're almost for sure not going to make that purchase unless it's dirt cheap. And the result of, if you are scammed, if it is not what it seems to be, that the impact of that bad decision will not be that big of an impact. So what I mean by that, let's say you go, someone's selling a camera and you want to get that camera. So you go get a look at that camera and there's something you don't trust about them. You turn it on, it seems to work, everything seems okay, but they seem shady, what have you. If that camera is, regularly $300 and you can get it for $100, you might make that purchase because it's so much cheaper and it seems to work right now, that you're going to go against your own gut. Now, that gut could be telling you a lot of things, but the result, what I'm trying to get across, is that price is a factor, but it's not the determining factor. There has to be a level of trust, and that is really the main thing we want to talk about. So, are you trustworthy? Now, there are a lot of things that play into that trust. And we're going to get into that over the coming episodes. But trust is the determining factor. And again, there's so many things that play into that, from appearance to conversations to questions asked to follow-up to proposals to walkthroughs to so many things. Either support our first instinct, oh, I don't trust them, oh, they seem, they don't really know much, or wow, this person stands apart and I want to deal with this person if I can justify doing that. And so that's what we want to look at. So let's look at secret number one. And secret number one is what we're going to talk about today. And the truth is that you can't win what you don't have, right? If you don't have the walkthrough, if you don't have an appointment, if you do not have someone to talk to, then it doesn't matter how good you are, right? You have to have the opportunity. And the opportunity is something that so many commercial cleaning contractors don't do particularly well. They don't have systems in place. They don't have follow-up in place. They're random. They don't have a set script. They don't know what they're going to say until they pick up the phone to make that phone call, or until they walk into that building to do that. They're just kind of winging it. And everyone knows when you're winging it. And when you're winging it, the only way you're going to win is, in most circumstances, if it's price. And someone goes, okay, they say they're going to do it. They say they'll do this. I'll give them a chance. They say they're going to do this. They say they're going to do that. I'll give them a chance, because all things being equal, they're about the same as everybody else, but they are cheaper. And so they'll go with you. But you're going to have huge struggles with that, because you can't grow a business with low margins, especially when you're starting to do the work. Because as soon as you are doing the work and working in your business and not working on your business, now you no longer can grow your business, because you're actually doing the physical work. So you have to make margin in order to be able to make that shift from the technician to the actual entrepreneur, to the person that's setting up the systems and all that stuff. And if you can't do that, then you're going to be stuck just getting by with having one or two or a few jobs that you can handle. And that, unfortunately, is the circumstances with the majority of commercial cleaning companies. In fact, as many as 90% do under $250,000 a year. And half of those do under $125,000 a year. So when you take into account the cost of doing business, travel, all those things, a company doing under $250,000 a year, 90% of them are really just getting by, because we know that the profit margins are somewhere between 20 to 40%, depending on the circumstance. So that is what we're going to talk about. So you can't win what you don't have, and you have to have the contract, the opportunity to do so. So build a predictable pipeline of walkthroughs with the right decision makers. So that's what we want to talk about for a second here. Who are the decision makers? What are the accounts you're going after? And are they the right decision maker? Are you calling and just getting to the receptionist? Or are you actually talking to the facility manager? Are you speaking to the person that makes the decision to do the purchasing, to make the decision to hire you? And we need to do our due diligence to make sure we have those people in place. We need to ask the questions. We need to determine if we're focusing our time on the people that can actually make an impact on your business and actually make that decision. So getting a list of names or phoning someone and talking to the receptionist is not a sales call. It's not going to do what you need to do. We need to talk to the proper person. So we need to make sure we have the right decision maker, and we have a pipeline of people that can do that. Now, one of the things with commercial cleaning, for janitorial services, for jobs we're going to clean on a weekly, daily, regular basis, is that we can't really force them into using you. We can't make them be ready when they're not ready. Meaning, if someone comes to the shopping mall and you own a store and you and they walk by and they see some flowers, or they see a cup, or they see a microphone, or what have you. If it's visually stimulating and then has something that can make them make a decision, like it's regular $50 on for $20, what have you, people will make a decision right then and there, because the value they perceived it to be and the price they can get it for is like, oh my goodness. And everyone likes to buy, they don't like to be sold to. So you can influence a decision very quickly with those tactics. When you're trying to get someone to hire you to clean on a regular basis, you can't do that. You can't just say, are you ready to hire me to come do your cleaning, right? It's a decision, it's a process. And so getting hired and filling your pipeline starts anywhere between 30 to 120 to 360 days away from when you get hired. So you need to recognize that every prospect is different. Some prospects are absolutely looking and wanting to make a decision. That's roughly about 3% of the market. Then you have about 46%, ballparkish, that are poised. They're okay, I need to get a cleaner, we need to contract out, I need to hire someone, I need to do this, I need to do that. And they're ready to do that. They're thinking this is what they're going to do. So they're poised, they're ready to make a decision at some point. It's in their to-do list. And 53 some odd percent are not even looking. They're not ready. So let's just say 50% of the people are not even looking. So they are a completely different mindset, not even thinking about it. They're not even looking. They're not interested. You can't really do anything to make them want to buy today. 40 some odd percent that are thinking about it, you can reach out to, you can persuade, you can help them move that process, the decision-making process, along further. And the 3%, they're already shopping. They already know what they're looking for. They have a ballpark of what it's going to cost them. And those are the accounts that now and again you get lucky. They're the unicorn. You walk in, someone says, yeah, I'm actually just looking right now. I'm so fed up with my existing company. I'm done. Give me a quote. Okay. That's kind of what everyone's hoping for and trying to do. Those are not the best accounts. They're already looking, the 3%. They're already selecting, knowing what the price is, and they are going to make a large part of the decision based on price, unless you can change that with the walkthrough and getting that opportunity. And that's what the purpose of these sessions are about, is helping with that. Where we really want to focus our time on is building a pipeline on the people that are in that poised to begin. So they're open to the conversation. And that is the dating, if you will. The 3% is the marriage, the 43% is the dating, and the 50 some odd percent of people, that's the looking, right? You're trying to find someone to date. Then you find 43% of people that are in the dating field and interested in dating. And then you have 3% of people that are, their biological clock is ticking and they want to get married and what have you. So if you think of it in that terms, because everyone has dated before, you can kind of get the idea of the three different markets. Someone wants to get married, someone wants to date, someone's not looking, not interested, they're not in the market. Maybe they have someone, what have you. So our messaging, our pipeline, our conversations, we have to have three different messages. Those prospects or potential prospects or leads are in a different mindset, plain and simple. So we need to change that. So build a predictable pipeline of walkthroughs with the right decision maker is imperative. Now, the second one is use outreach hooks that highlight problems. So we don't want to talk about cleaning. All of your competitors talk about cleaning. They talk about, we will disinfect this, we will do this, we will do that. What you are trying to do is articulate and help them see that you're different. And when I say that you're different, that you're talking about problems they didn't know they have. Like, a lot of people don't know that proper cleaning reduces absenteeism. lots of people don't know that there is a safety issue when you're cleaning with tripping and slips and falls on mats and slip and falls because floors are wet, all of these things. These are things that people get intrigued by. They listen to, oh, I haven't heard that before. Oh, I haven't seen that before. And now you become the center of conversation. If you're talking to them about things they know, oh, we're going to disinfect this, oh, we'll clean these windows, what have you. Everyone else is having that conversation, and they're like, yep, so someone else, yep, someone else, so someone else, so someone else. What's your price? What's your price? But when you're talking a different talk, when you're building trust, when they're seeing that you see things differently, when you're showing them the world is different or how the world can be different through working with you, they're going to listen. Right? First impressions are extremely important. What we don't want to do is be generic, right? Oh, we'd like to give you a free quote. Oh, we'd like to give you a free quote. Okay, that is what the majority of commercial cleaning companies are doing. When I speak to them, when we start working together, this is what they're saying. Oh, we have a list of 500 people. We phone them once a month to see if they're ready for a quote. Whatever. We want to see if they want a quote. Want to see if they want a quote. Want to see if they want a quote. Right? And they don't grow. So therefore, it's not working. Yes, of course, you get one here and there. That is just life. It's like golf, right? Most people are terrible at golf, but they keep golfing because now and again they hit it and it goes straight down the fairway. And they go, okay, there's hope, there's hope, there's hope. And that hope keeps them alive to keep playing golf. Now, then someone get very, very good at golf and focus on it, but you get the metaphor here. So we don't want to just be giving quotes, because we're just going to get by. If you do what everyone does, you're going to get what everyone has. And all your competitors are doing that. So let's stop the insanity. The third piece is leveraging scripts, okay, leveraging social media like LinkedIn and referrals to consistent land walkthroughs without begging or cold pitching. Now, we need to make cold calls at times. We need to do cold outreach. Absolutely. We need to create a connection. We need to interrupt people to have a conversation. If we just sit waiting for our phone to ring, we're not going to survive. We need to be out there. But it's how we do it. It's the strategy that we have. It's you don't follow your favorite football team as an example, and they go onto the field. They have no plays, no systems, no whatever. They just go on and say, okay, guys, wing it. Just wing it. Whatever you feel, throw it if you feel like. They all have a strategy. They have plays they do, and they change their play based on what the other people are doing, their competitors, the way they're positioned, and they say, okay, we're going to throw it, we're going to run it, we're going to do it to this, but we are going to find their weaknesses. Right? It's a strategy. It's a game of chess. And that's what you want to do. You want to think of this as a chess match. What are the masses doing? I need to separate myself from that. I need to do something different. And then I have a strategy or a set of activities, a set of systems, a set of things that I do on a regular basis that is going to create a team, a system that when we go onto the field, we're going to be in the game. We're not going to be outmatched in the first 10 seconds. Now, talking about that, I heard one person say to me one time, the only person that doesn't know they're insane is the person that's insane, right? So if someone starts talking to you, go, oh, this person is weird. They don't think they're weird. They're in their own head. They think they're normal. And you or I go, oh, okay. So you or I don't know if we come across as weird, abnormal, or what have you to our customers, or end users. So you need to really separate yourself and have self-awareness as to how do you come across. Do you come across as a clodhopper? Do you come across as professional? I'll give you a quick little story. One time where this really stood out to me. There was a flyer that came to my house, and it was for power washing the house in the driveway. And the guy's name and business, his name was Tiny. And so I called Tiny, and Tiny came and gave me a quote. And the quote to do the power washing and the driveway, this is many years ago now, I think it was like $900. And I said, $900? and he got defensive. He goes, well, yeah, I'm a 2 days work. I got to do this. I said, oh, you're worth whatever you charge. It's higher than I anticipated, and that's not what I thought. I had no idea it was going to cost that much. Now, Tiny showed up in his pickup truck with, needed a paint job. He was a nice enough guy, but he had overalls on, and he was just a regular clod hopper. The next day, I phoned and got another referral because his pricing was just so out there. I couldn't justify the price of, I think it was $900, whatever it was. It was way up there. The next day, I get someone comes to my door. They knock on the door. I remember the guy being very tall, but what really stood out is he had a uniform on. He had a hat on. He had a shirt on. He was dressed quite nicely. He had a nice clean truck with a enclosed trailer that was logoed. And he said, let me give you a quote. And he walked around with a piece of paper. Tiny just walked around, looked around very quickly. He came back to me and gave me the quote, and the quote was somewhere in the vicinity of $380. I was like, oh, I said, that's a pretty good price. How do you do it so cheap? And he goes, well, I have this machine. We hook it up, right? And it's like basically a floor scrubber. The water comes out and we scrub the driveway. And so we can do it really fast and really quickly and all that stuff. So he had the technology to do the job faster. He had the appearance, which made me think this guy's professional. He handed me a quote on a piece of paper with a quote with a logo on it, right, with a price, with his signature, and I made a decision right there on the spot. Now, why did I make a decision right there on the spot and not think, well, I gotta give Tiny a chance and phone him? Because Tiny's price was so much higher than the one that just gave me a quote that I couldn't even fathom calling him and asking him, would you meet the price, which was more than half, right? I didn't want to be insulting. He would have been insulted, right? Because he didn't know better. He was just using a power washer and literally, just a power washer do everything. And that's fine. But he came across to me as ill professional, and he didn't have the trust that I needed to make that decision. I went with someone that did things faster and cheaper. Now, had they come back and been, even double the price and a little bit cheaper than Tiny, based on everything I saw, I still would have gone with them. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. There was a system to what they did. Tiny was winging it. The other company had logos, appearances, hats, shirts, logo trucks. I trusted them. And so we need to have a system in place, from your appearance to the questions you ask to every step that you make in that, because it's all about building trust. It's about you saying, or the customer saying, oh, yes, I believe they can do this based on what I'm seeing. So that's what we're looking at. And finally, the goal is a steady calendar of qualified walkthroughs every week. And you're not going to get a list of qualified walkthroughs every week by winging it, by having no systems in place, by phoning and hoping for the unicorn. You will get a unicorn. 3% of the market is ready to look and make a decision. They're price-based. Most times, if they're at that point, and your margins are going to be low, and that is the cleaning industry. That is why 90% are under $250,000 per year, because they're winging it. They have no systems in place, and they're hoping for a unicorn. So stop hoping for a unicorn and start implementing secret number one. And if you want to learn more, if you find this of value, then I encourage you to click the link below and join the Walkthrough Secrets Challenge. It is an event that's free, and we do a deep dive on the walkthrough and the three particular aspects of the walkthrough: getting the walkthrough, winning the walkthrough, and scaling the walkthrough. So if you found this of value, click like or subscribe, and I encourage you to sign up for the walkthrough, and I'll see you in the next session.
Thanks for tuning in to the Clean Pro Podcast. If you got value today, leave a review, share this with another cleaner you respect, and make sure to subscribe. Remember, it's not the best cleaner that wins, it's the best known cleaner. Until next time, go be iconic.